So you've been tinkering away for weeks and weeks, and where did it get you? My name's the Grofster, and welcome to today's video where I'll be sharing my Game Week 1 team for Fantasy Premier League. Let's go! So let's start with goalkeepers. Like most managers, I've been reflecting a great deal on the set and forget of a £4.5 million goalkeeper. In this bracket, the likes of Ryan and McCarthy are the standout propositions. I've gone for McCarthy over Ryan purely on the fact that I don't think I can trust a Brighton defence, and I think a more favourable run of fixtures for Southampton will put them in good stead. If I was to spend a little bit more money, I would probably stretch to Ramsdale at Sheffield United, who's £5 million. As my backup to McCarthy, I've gone for a £4.0 million goalkeeper, of which there's not really a lot of choice. As an injury to Heaton has meant that he won't come back for probably a month or so, I've gone for Nyland at Aston Villa, and that will allow me to stretch my funds a little bit further elsewhere in my team. So now on to our back line, and there's one man on everybody's lips. I probably shouldn't say that. It's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.5 million, the highest scoring defender of last season, the fourth highest scorer overall. For any other position, you know, if you were paying £7.5 million for the points he scores in a midfield position, it would be a no-brainer. He should be in everybody's teams. I had considered the double up with Robbo, but that has restricted me elsewhere in my team, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. My next heavy hitter behind Trent Alexander-Arnold is Doherty at Spurs. £6 million he'll send me back, and I think he'll offer a lot of offence going forward, but also in a very, very tight back line. Jose usually sets up his teams really well for his second season and doesn't concede a lot of goals, so I'm hoping there are clean sheets and bonus points galore in that back line, and Spurs do have a favourable run of fixtures in the first kind of 5 or 6 game weeks. Next, I've gone for 2 rotating 4.5 million defenders. You know, there's a lot of options in this area, particularly Justin, Vinagre, although Vinagre might not get a lot of game time now that Wolves have signed another left back, Taylor at Burnley, Eiling at Leeds potentially, and there's loads more in the 5.5 million bracket. I've opted for a double up in the Saints backline. So with McCarthy, I've got Kyle Walker-Peters at 4.5 million, and also William Saliba of Arsenal, also 4.5 million. Saliba should get a good run of games for the first few fixtures, as Luiz has been ruled out for a month or so. So I'm hoping at least he gets some game time. In my last kind of 5th position in my backline, I've gone for a 4 million pick. Bench fodder, but I'm hoping, you know, I've picked Douglas of Leeds, who will get some game time, and, you know, if I need someone to come in and pick up 2 points here and there, he'll do the job. So now let's go on to my midfield, which has become really interesting this season with a lot of people's positional changes from forward to midfielder or defence to midfielder. As an opener, I've gone to 2 big heavy hitters. That is Salah at 12 million and Aubameyang at 12 million. An opener at home to Leeds really scared me with Salah. I tried many drafts without him, and, you know, I always just keep coming back to him. So the Egyptian finds his place in my team, likely going to be a set and forget player. For Aubameyang, very similar reasoning. His opening fixtures are quite good, but as those fixtures kind of turn a little bit bad towards game week 3, game week 4, I could likely go for Bruno, for Kevin De Bruyne. You know, his price point allows you to make some really flexible kind of transfers to other players in a similar kind of price bracket. Alongside those two, I've gone for a bit of a differential pick, and that is Dele Alli. A lot of eyes have been on Spurs due to their, you know, fantastic fixtures, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of people going for Son. but my budget wouldn't quite stretch to Son, so I've gone for Dele Alli, who has been getting quite a good set of minutes in pre-season, also has been bagging a few assists, so hopefully he can return some points. I had kept a close eye on Lucas Moura, who is at 7 million, a lot cheaper, and could potentially offer better routes into a further funded front line. But in the end, I settled for Ali, thinking Moura might not get the game time you think he will. And then to set the kind of three heavy hitters off, I've got two kind of rotatings on the side. The first one is St. Maximin, who is 5.5 million at Newcastle. You know, they've made some super interesting signings, and I think he could be a hidden gem in fantasy football if he kicks on his form from the latter half of last season. And at 5.5 million, you know, if that gamble doesn't pay off, I was planning on early wildcarding anyway. So if it doesn't pay off, I've got ample opportunity to kind of flex it another way. And my last midfielder is a 5 million Souček from West Ham. You know, West Ham's fixtures are awful, to be honest. But Souček, you know, had some really good stats, really good point return in Project Restart. And even though they have a poor run of fixtures for the first 5 or 6, I think as that 5th position, you won't find better value at 5 million, 4.5 million other than Souček. So for my front line, I'm going to go into my bench fodder first, and a little bit of a callback to what I said earlier. I've gone for Ian Brewster, who's 4.5 million, and you know, he's taken a valuable third Liverpool spot that could be for someone like Mane or Robertson. But you know, Brewster in all likelihood could hopefully get a loan move to another Premier League club and get a lot more game time, and there isn't hardly any options whatsoever at 4.5 million other than Davis at Aston Villa. So he'll fill that spot and likely won't factor into my team very often. Next to him, my next highest price point is Danny Ings. You know, he produced such great returns last year, and I feel it's very dangerous to go without him considering the run of form and fixtures that Southampton have. Last spot is a pick that a lot of people have almost 50% owned. Is Timo Werner at 9.5 million. His stats in Germany speak for themselves, and Chelsea's new boys could really take advantage of the creative players around him. I had considered Jimenez at this price point too, but I'm unsure with Wolves at the moment about how well they'll fare with some of the changes that they've had, particularly for like Doherty, who was so fantastic at delivery. So, you know, I've picked Werner. You could also have a look at a little bit more money for Vardy. Was a good shout that I'd explored a little bit more as well. And that's it. As quickly as the season ended, it starts again, and it seems like only yesterday that my boys Arsenal were lifting that FA Cup high in the air. So I'm super pumped for this season. I'm really happy to do my team reveal for Game Week 1. So if you're into FPL and want to see how my team gets set up every week, give me a subscribe. I am aiming to release a video each week where I'll be telling you who I am picking for my Fantasy Premier League squad.